Hi there, it's Maddie at West. I wanted to join you today and do a little video for you. Um, Really as short as I can be, although I do tend to babble on. I've tried to record this already a couple times, and this is going to be the third and the one that gets out there. So I'm committed to doing that. Now, I wanted to come today to just introduce myself a little bit more formally so that you know what I do, what Mediat West coaching is all about, and how I got to this place. So I'm Mediat West. I'm a relationship coach. I live in Shawnigan Lake, BC, but have lived in lots of different countries and tend to still get the pull to travel and to do things all over the world if I can create that. Um, so I work with women, primarily women, although sometimes men, but I work with women who want to reignite their relationship, rekindle their romance, and reconnect to themselves. And really, my mission behind all of this is to help every woman to have the tools and the skills and the insights that will help them on their journey to never having to settle again in life and in relationships. So this is really my journey. This is where I came from. Settling is something that I didn't even realize I was doing it. And it took some really big wake-up calls on, that life throws at all of us that began to bring things to the surface. So for me, it all started with, simple things as starting a new career. I became a teacher. My husband, who was my boyfriend at that time, moved to Australia together, and I started teaching in Australia. So that was a really, really big shift for me. It brought up, my tendencies to want to hide in the background, and I just couldn't do that as a foreigner in a country and teaching and working there. So it was the students I had who really called me out on my attempts to blend in and become an Australian, and it just didn't work. And they thought it was hilarious, but they also thought me being Canadian was hilarious. So it was tricky for me to blend in at all. It was just a time in my life where I stood out, and it was incredibly uncomfortable. So that's when I began to, I just began to feel really, really uncomfortable in myself, and to finally, be forced to be seen and realize how much I really avoided everything that came along with being in the spotlight and how uncomfortable it made me. So over time, I got married. That was another really big change. I had children. We moved back to Canada, and I had some big health issues that was the root of why I became a relationship coach. So I had to give up teaching and follow a path that came up while we were still in Australia about life coaching. So it got my attention before we left the country and before I gave up teaching, or even had a thought about giving up teaching, and had put it to the side. But while I was at home, not able to work, I started to train to be a relationship or a life coach. And it was through that training and the deep inner work that I did as part of that training that really began to help me understand what was happening and why I was doing the things that I was doing, and how I was really making my life very small and to keep safe and not be seen and not be judged and questioned. Mm-hmm. And also, more importantly, I began to realize as I got deeper into working with people and doing the life coaching with other people, I began to realize a lot of my patterns and tendencies, and they always showed up in relationships. And even though with my husband, it was probably the safest place for me in regards that he knew me well. I didn't need to pretend with him. So in that way, it was okay for me to be real. He didn't judge me. He didn't question me. But when we started to have children, when things started to change again in our lives, I found myself going into some very strong drama triangle control techniques to get him to be the way I wanted him to be, and to shift and change him so that I could get what I wanted instead of focusing on what I needed. So it became really fascinating to me to begin to dive more into learning about relationships and how they work, And, it's been 10 years that I've been focusing on learning about life coaching and relationship coaching. And I can say from working with the clients and particularly myself that we don't know really what is the way it gets in the way of our relationships. And there's really so much we need to learn about ourselves, what we bring to the relationship, and what gets in the way. And that's at the root of what I do when I work with women around their relationships. So they often come to me after big changes as well. They begin to see the effects in their relationships. Things are starting to get rocky, and it just feels like something needs to shift in a really big way. They can't continue on the way it's going. So that's all I'm going to share today about me. If you have any questions, I would love you to send me a message, and I'm happy to answer you more about that. Other than to say, I am a Martha Beck life coach. I'm trained and certified. That's the word I was looking for. And have been doing this, like I said, for over 10 years. And I am looking forward to sharing with you a brand new website that's going to be coming out this week. So this is in preparation for that, and I want you to get to know me a little bit as I prepare to show you what I have to offer you. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye for now.